Previously on Dice Versa.
Lieutenant Sharu, the woman in green, is now completely engaged in combat with you, Uko, and you see her throw aside that heavy machine gun that she has, and she draws a long steel sword from a sheath on her hip.
As Mishka's downing this soldier and her gun's clattering to the ground, she kind of begins to just extend a hand out towards the rifle and begins focusing on it, and as it does, it begins to levitate up in the air as she's going to use it as a telekinetic projectile.
She turns as she is passing by you and catches your wing, cutting a nice clean chunk off of the tip of your wing.
How about this one? He's nice and furry. I know you like that sort of thing.
And before you can even think of a response, Nua fades away and is replaced by Mishka's blurry form as he runs toward you.
Yes, do we know where the silver needle is?
It's on their way to Golta. And then the last thing here from Lieutenant Sharu says she'll return to the Empire with any other findings once the Barazad returns with the latest transponder code. I'm thinking we need to wait for this dang ship to show up and then take them out too and get that code.
We've intercepted some chatter. Sounds like an Azlanti ship is coming back this way. If we don't do something, we're gonna be right back where we started.
So you guys all rush back out of the Royal Venture, leaving the same way that you came in. You exit through the bridge and hurry down the collapsed hallways of the ship. And you run through the ornate bedchamber and you pass through the engine room, and then you finally emerge back out above ground. And you waste no time as you just sprint, dashing past the probe crash site, and you hustle the remaining couple miles to where you landed the Sundering Eclipse, and she sits ready and waiting. And so you sprint up the boarding ramp, and Cooper's voice rings out.
Pilot Mishker, I've set the engines to running as you requested, and we be ready for takeoff at your pleasure.
Excellent. Let's go, Cooper. And hop into the pilot seat and get that bird singing.
So yeah, you guys all hop into your various seats. You just kick it into gear, pull up, and fly off.
Yar, I've been analyzing the data from our last skirmish, and I've taken the liberty of reconfiguring the stations upon the bridge. If you determine that it ain't to your liking, or if you'd like me to make any further adjustments, just be letting me know.
Sounds good. Thank you, Cooper.
Additionally,
there's more.
my firmware has added additional tasks that allow for the ship to accommodate a larger and more varied crew. Seeing as this vessel be on the smaller side, I've made these tasks available at each station, so the crew can perform them as they see fit.
So, Mishka, you now notice that at your pilot station, there are now a handful of new commands that access some previously restricted systems of the ship.
Dope.
For example, you can now take direct control over the maneuvering thrusters, which would allow you to make smaller flight adjustments manually, or you could use them to pull a really sharp turn that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
Sick.
Additionally, after assessing the efficiency of the previous skirmish, it be clear as calm waters that the lass be running around the deck too much. I've consolidated the tasks from the engineering and the science officer stations into the captain's station, so that she won't be having to tarnish me decks by running about.
Oh, excellent, Cooper. This is definitely way more efficient. Thank you.
And you also see that there is a new role available to you on the captain's console that says Magic Officer. And as you access this new role, you see what looks like a handprint scanner on it, and you see a list of the ship's systems. And as you are perusing through this, you figure out that any magic user would be able to directly interface with this panel and basically infuse the ship's systems with their own magic. For you specifically, Nevessa, you feel like you could probably use the ship's sensors and that sort of stuff to amplify your psychic powers.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask him, my magic's pretty low level.
Yeah, so you can now
stuff.
basically use the ship as a big psychic antenna.
Oh, neat.
And finally, Uko, as you climb into your new turret-mounted gunner seat, you give it a whirl, and you like twist the handles that stick out facing you, so you grab them at like a 90-degree angle. You can twist them left and right, so you twist them to the left and the entire weapon mount swivels to the left. The gun, the seat, the whole thing just swivels to the left to aim in that direction. And you twist it to the right and you spin to the right. And it seems like you have full motion, 360 degrees, and after a little bit of messing around with it, it becomes pretty natural feeling to you.
Oh, this is good. I like this.
And so now you pull up like the weapons console, and you also see that you have a couple new options as well. These specifically allow you to have more precise control over like a target finding system for a weapon.
Oh, thank God.
Or you could like superpower it and give it some extra oomph in its next shot.
So are we gonna go meet him in space, or are we just can't have this ship landing? As long as we don't have to face him on the ground, as much as I'd love to, I am in no shape to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, alright, cool, I had a good idea.
So you guys pull up to go try to intercept the Barazad, and you breach through the fog and into the clear upper atmosphere of Nakondis, and you begin seeing the planet's curvature as the pale blue sky then fades away into the blanket of stars, and your ship's sensors send out an alert a few moments later to the science officer terminal, and Cooper says,
Yar, I've detected some electronic signatures of an approaching vessel. Upload an estimated trajectory now.
And Nevessa, you do get a holographic reconstruction of Nakondis on the science officer terminal, as well as like a small ship on the screen that represents the Sundering Eclipse. The entire image, ship and everything, rotates to the southwestern hemisphere of the planet, and you see another ship now traveling along a dotted line towards the planet, showing you its trajectory. And the estimated arrival time on the screen says that you have about 10 minutes before the ship's arrival at the planet, which gives you a good amount of time to adjust your flight path to intercept them.
Nevessa just kind of starts inputting some commands in, and Cooper, please let me know when we're in scanning range of the ship.
Aye, aye, Captain.
That's right, we want a transponder of sorts, right? Some code or something so we can find Sedona, right? And you're thinking maybe we can pick that up off of them by scanning them?
I mean, it would require more than just a scan. I'd probably have to try and do a ranged hack into their systems, which I'm not sure. I was more wanting just information on the ship if we're going to be engaging them in combat, knowing what their capabilities are and what we should focus on and what we should avoid is more my thinking.
I understand that. Well, maybe we try to avoid destroying them before we get that code, because we gotta find Sedona and all that, right? You know, if we destroy the ship, we don't get the code.
Estimated interception time, 5 minutes.
Oh boy, oh, okay, alright.
Yes, perhaps we should focus our efforts then on disabling the ship.
Let's go take them down.
Okay.
Attention. Enemy vessel visible. Displaying on the main viewport now.
The main viewport switches, and you see it zoom in on a section of the starry sky, of this starry space, and you do see a medium-sized spacecraft chugging along, skimming through space towards Nakondis, and it does not seem to be aware of your presence. All right, so you engage your thrusters, making a swooping arc out so you stay out of its line of sight, and you swing back around behind it, getting the drop on it. Roll initiative in Starship version of what that means. So the ship does not see you guys coming up behind it, so it just continues its cruise on towards the planet.
I'm just gonna fly defensively and just come up behind him nice and slow.
Are you doing evasive maneuvers, or are you just...
Yeah, that one.
DC is going to be 14 to do evasive maneuvers as you fly up towards it.
That's a 23.
As you come up right behind it, Cooper says,
Yar, we've been detected upon their sensors.
Ugo's gonna think he's really cool when he goes, well, shoot, and just unloads with the coil gun.
all right.
He just chuckles to himself. That's an 8 to attack. Did I hit?
The shot goes just past the ship's port side, and now it definitely notices you, even if it hadn't before. It would definitely notice you now.
That's the warning shot. I want to make this a fair fight, you know.
Cooper, could you open up a line to the enemy ship, please?
Attempting to establish a connection. One moment.
Since no one used the computers this round, I would like to use Cooper at this moment, and I'm going to use the taunt action against the enemy ship.
Navessa about to throw some shit down.
Attempt a bluff or intimidate check, DC 19.
I'm going to do a bluff check, with the first bluff being that was a warning shot. Barazad, this is the Sundering Eclipse. You are to stand down and move away from the planet. We have already captured the Royal Venture and cleared out your invading forces here. If you do not obey these orders, our fleet of ships will shoot you down from the sky.
All right, go ahead and make your roll.
Uko's leaning back from the gutter seat and like,
We have a fleet of ships.
Oh no! I rolled a 12.
Cooper says,
Captain, I failed to establish a link, but I broadcasted your message anyways.
Strong start, everybody.
yeah, really though, Uko's just like,
But do we have more people?
now that the Barazad is aware of you, it pulls up and stops its descent, which it had started into Nakondis' atmosphere, and pulls up and tries to swoop back out to engage with you.
For now, I'll just keep doing evasive maneuvers for the time being.
All right, so that is a DC 14.
29.
So you do the equivalent of bobbing and weaving in a starship as you come up behind the Barazad. And you now see the Barazad's turret weapon turn to face you. You see a missile fire from the Barazad's turret, and it comes careening towards the Sundering Eclipse. And even with your evasive maneuvers, you are not able to get out of the way as it homes in on you with its target lock, and it crashes into the forward shields of the Sundering Eclipse for 14 damage.
Forward shields nearly depleted. Uko, hit him back hard. I'm going to roll my diplomacy check to encourage you.
The DC is going to be 17 for this.
I rolled an 18.
That succeeds. So Uko, you've been working with Navessa. You guys kind of mesh with each other a little bit better now, and you're not as
intimidated.
You're not as revolted by taking orders from her. And so when she gives you this encouragement, you feel encouraged and not insulted.
aw. So Uko will give a little smirk and just say,
You got it.
he twists his turret and says,
Cooper, help me out here.
Aye. Aiming.
Fired!
Firing.
15 to hit for 8 damage.
With this encouragement and with Cooper's help, you line up the shot in your new turret, and it feels real good. You know before you even pull the trigger that this one is gonna hit. And it flies forward, crashing into the ship's portside shields, and the shot breaks through and hits the hull, leaving a visible ding on the outside of the ship's hull.
Ooh, that felt good.
Good shot, my friend.
Oh, thank you kindly.
Cooper, target the enemy's engines.
Aye. Attempting to lock on to the enemy's engines.
The DC is going to be 19.
I only got a 14.
Buggers.
You try to lock onto the engines, and you see the targeting reticle spinning around, but it does not manage to lock onto any of the ship systems, and it blinks, and it fades away.
Unable to lock on, the defenses are too strong.
Then I guess I'll weaken them some.
You see the Barazad continue its path forward as it makes another wide bank, and as it makes this wide turn around you, the turret does not actually continue aiming at you, but you do see some ports on the port side of the ship open up, and some cannons protrude out from these new gunnery mounts that appear on the side of the ship as they take aim at you.
Good lord.
No, thanks. I will continue to do some evasive maneuvers. Do that good fly.
DC 14.
That's a 30.
All right.
Seeing the ports open up and seeing those cannons, I was like, oh, that's not good. Let's get out of that range. And Mishka's gonna do a couple barrel rolls, just kind of fly, try to throw their targeting systems off and fly past them and kind of loop around to get facing their engines again. and hopefully be out of port range.
You see those cannons that came out, they retract a little bit as they go into passive mode as you exit their range of fire, and you come up behind it. Huko, make your attack.
Does a 3 hit?
Natural 1 does not hit. You hear something click and then snap as you turn to move the turret, and it gets jammed into one spot, and so you fire, and the shot just goes completely wide, and the turret is currently stuck in the forward arc for the next round.
I'm too big for this thing. The turret's stuck. I can't turn it. Stuck forward.
Shit. Alright, I'll try to get you in their sights. Or nope, the opposite. I'll try to get them in your sights.
Thank you. Second option, please.
Attempting to divert power to the forward shields.
So that's going to be a DC 14.
And I rolled a 19.
So you get 6 points back into your forward shields as Nevessa diverts the power to them. And you hear the shields power back up, and you see on the forward viewport, you see that translucent sheen of shield power once again appear over the camera feed.
Forward shields back up to 50%.
Good work,
Excellent
Nevessa.
work.
You see the Barazad as it continues forward for a bit and then tries to swoop back around, intent on getting you in its line of sight.
Just gonna do some more evasive maneuvers. That's a 26.
That is successful as you continue these evasive maneuvers, trying to baffle the Barazad.
Yeah, just gonna try and keep them on their toes, keep them guessing, try to stay out of their port view.
So, as you see it turning to try to get you back in its sights, you just kind of floor it, going more or less in a straight line to get behind it and pull up behind it. But you see the turret again turn towards you, and another missile flies out towards you. No! But when it's about halfway between you and the Barazad, the missile just explodes, not hitting anything or causing any damage.
Well, that was fortunate.
I will start calibrating the computer at least, if not the turret itself.
Oh yeah, god damn it, my bad.
Are you doing the range finding, which gives you +1 to attack, or are you readying the weapon system, which gives you +1 to damage?
Range finding.
Okay. Not being able to aim at anything this round, you pull open a control panel near the turret, and somehow it all makes sense to you as you start fiddling around in there. Maybe it's very obvious that, something has just come undone, like a few gears that are supposed to be interlocking have come undone from each other, so you give them a nice shove, jamming them back into place, and you put the panel back up, and you give your turret a little bit of a spin, and it feels even better now than it did before, but by the time you're back in your seat, the opportunity to fire has passed you by. You see the Barazad out of the starboard feed of the Sundering Eclipse as it turns away, leaving the camera feed and appearing on the aft side as it tries to swoop back around again to get you closer into range.
I'm gonna try a slide.
So a slide is where you move up to your speed in a direction of either the forward port or forward starboard edge without changing its facing. So you basically move diagonally while facing the same direction, and the DC is going to be 14.
Do that diagonal slide.
Yeah. So 30. Yeah, but Mishka essentially will kind of drift the plane to continue trying to keep us out of view of them.
So as you see them coming up on the aft camera feeds of the Sundering Eclipse, you do a very slick-looking diagonal slide without changing the facing of your ship. You just slide out of the way, and then at the end of the slide, you do a little bit of a pivot.
Yeah.
So as you do this pivot maneuver, you do see that the Barazad, similar to on the port side, on its starboard side, you see some of these cannon ports open and more cannons slide out of the starboard side. You see them aiming at you, but they do not fire. You must be out of their range.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I wanted.
Nevessa's kind of like the situation's getting a little bit more tense. Kind of just starts to slip into psychic emboldening, so I'm just kind of reflavoring the diplomacy as the same psychic encouragement that Git Up is. So Uko, let's see if you feel emboldened. 17 on dice?
Uko, yeah, you feel a familiar warm feeling settle in around you, and you get some extra determination to fire upon this ship and to hit it and to kill it.
Uko twists the turret to face the Barazad and grits his fangs as he just unloads. Has anyone used the computer?
Nope, saving it for you, buddy.
Yay! And I will use the computer as well. And I have that bonus from the last round.
Yep.
All right. 12 total? Does a 12 hit?
12 does not hit. As you swing your turret around, the nose of the turret goes just a little bit too far, and the shot goes just past the Barazad.
Mishka's gonna try to just curve a little bit, try to keep out of their range, and try to continue staying in their blind spot.
So you swoop up around behind it again, but this time it's able to react to you instead of you reacting to where it goes. And it begins pulling up towards you to get you in range once again.
I think, like, at this point, maybe, Nevessa is starting to just get a little short with Uko and kind of, like, breaks the psychic connection. It's just like, Uko, stop missing and actually hit it this time.
All right, and the DC for the demand action is 19.
Nevessa rolled a 27.
Oh.
All right, Uko, you hear Nevessa bark some orders at you.
Uko looks out from his little turret port at, not sure if he can actually see her from here, but just kind of looks back, gritting his teeth, and just mutters under his breath, just goes, bitch.
All right.
Fires at the Barazad using Cooper, help me.
Aye, Gunner.
Does an 11 hit?
An 11 does not hit as you take another shot at the Barazad as it comes careening towards you, but your shot does not find its mark despite Nevessa's kind words. You see a large cannon at the front of the Barazad let loose a shot at you.
And miss us entirely.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, you see that cannon just begin smoking. Nothing fires out of it, it just begins smoldering smoke. So you see the Barazad continue its course on towards you, and it slows down a bit as it gets closer to you, and you see those cannons appear again out of its port side.
I'll do some stunts.
Zip behind it and do a U-turn.
Yeah, that's the stunt.
Or a flyby.
Oh yeah, flyby, that's a thing too.
Yeah, let's do a flyby.
The DC is gonna be 24.
Oh, schniz.
That's alright, I can do it.
Oh,
Whoa.
Oh, 24 exactly.
Alright, so you make this flyby attack on it, and as you do that, it tries to fire that same forward-facing cannon at you as you are flying towards it, but the shot just goes whizzing right underneath the Sundering Eclipse as you fly over it. And as you fly over it, Uko, you get the opportunity to take a shot, but first...
I'm gonna try and demand again. Look, Uko, Mishka put you point blank to it. Just hit it, okay? And I rolled a 24.
All right.
Uko definitely doesn't start having his lip quiver. I was just supposed to protect you guys with my fists and weapons up close to things, and now we're shooting stuff into space and... Fire the coil gun.
You can take laser guns and being knocked out by drones and being stabbed, but the pain you can't take is harsh words from your friends.
Damn right. 13 to hit.
Plus 4, so that is a total of 17 to hit for 8 damage. There was no way you could miss this shot. Even though there was, but you don't.
There really was, but we didn't. Oh my God.
But you don't miss this shot as you fly by and you fire on the forward shields of the Barazad, and you see those shields also putter out and the shot pierces through, hitting the hole underneath.
Hey, I did it, Nevessa, I hit him.
Good job, Uko. Don't get cocky.
You see the Barazad. After you pass by it, it tries to make a turn to chase you down, but does so slowly, agonizingly slowly.
It is slow ship.
Gonna evade this time and just kind of try to fly out of its range. Let's do that. Let's do that check. 34.
All right, you do some more evasive maneuvers. After your flyby, you just pull up and spin off, becoming even harder to hit. The turret of the Barazad tracks you as you fly away from it, though, and another missile comes flying out towards you.
No.
The missile's speed is not enough to catch up with you, but it is locked onto you.
Oh.
Good job, Uko. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
29 encouragement.
Cooper, keep helping me out. You're doing great, bud.
No, we haven't done shit.
Trying.
You haven't done shit.
Alright, you know what? I don't need the sass.
Does a 21 hit for 13 damage?
Girl.
That definitely hits.
Woo!
On the starboard shields, you see them flare and immediately dissipate as the shot tears through them and lodges itself into the ship's hull.
Mishka, I'm gonna try and divert power to the engines. Get some distance between us and this missile. See if you can lose it.
Will do.
And I'm going to do a divert action.
The
Tight.
DC for diversion of power is 14.
I rolled a natural 20 for a total of 28.
Mishka, you feel a kick as some extra power gets fed into the engines and your speed increases by 2. The Barazad just continues its long, slow pursuit of you as it tries its best to keep up with your darting about.
Gonna continue to do evasive maneuvers to get this missile off our bootay. That's a 19.
All right, those evasive maneuvers are successful as you are able to dodge away from this missile that is still hot on your tail, but you're able to keep it from impacting, at least for now.
And Mishka just pats the console of the ship, is like, let's go, girl. And he just fucking rockets forward.
The missile stays hot on your trail as you try to get away from it. And from a distance, you see the Barazad fire that forward-facing cannon, but luckily the shot misses as it flies past the starboard feed of your ship.
Uko turns with the turret, aiming back at the Barazad,
Cooper, keep helping me out here, bud.
and fires. Does an 18 hit for 13 damage.
An 18 does hit as you let loose another shot from your coil-gun. There are no forward shields to slow it down, and the Barazad takes the entire 13 damage to its hull and its bow, I believe it's called.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to keep diverting power to the boosters, hoping to lose this missile somehow.
All right.
For another natural 20. Another 28.
Yeah.
That extra speed boost that you felt, Mishka, continues on in this round. The Barazad continues its pursuit towards you.
Mishka's gonna flip the ship around, fly past the missile, and just do a flyby on the ship.
All right.
That's a 19?
The 19 is not going to succeed, so it is going to get an attack of opportunity on you, basically.
Gotcha.
You try this flyby on the Barazad, but it is also flying towards you, so it's almost a game of chicken. And you see it fire another shot at you as you come flying past it. And this shot connects with your forward shields as you fly past it for 11 damage.
Oh, that's not good. Our forward shield had 7. So that's down to 0 and 11.
Yep.
So we take 4 damages.
So, just like your shot, this one pierces through your forward shields, and you hear a deafening crunch fill the bridge as it lodges into the bow of your ship.
Ah, shit. Sorry about that, everyone.
So as you make this hard turn and do this flyby, the Barazad gets its attack on you, but the missile tries to turn to keep up with you, but you pull out of its turn radius and it just flies off into the distance. harmlessly, and you see it explode in the distance once it reaches a certain range away from the Barazad. And the Barazad does not have a shot on you since you did the flyby on it. Uko, go ahead and make that flyby attack.
Uko does such with Cooper's support, just gritting his teeth together and letting loose. 8 does not hit. God.
As you try to do your flyby and that shot hits the Sundering Eclipse, the way that the entire ship shakes from the impact throws your shot off, and it does not manage to connect with anything.
Diverting power back to the forward shields. Get some shields back. Roll an engineering check. I don't think a 13 will do it, though.
13 does not work for the diversion. The DC was 14. So you try to divert the power from the engines now to the shields, but this path of power diversion is new to you, so you kind of get tripped up in the systems and you're not able to divert the power as you wish.
Give me a moment. I'm gonna need a minute to figure this out.
So as you do this flyby on the Barazad, it tries to turn and keep you in its sights with its big, slow turns.
Gonna try to keep evading. Keep them on their toes for 22.
All right, those evasive maneuvers are successful.
And then just kind of turn around, fly past the Barazad, and kind of like angle a little bit. Basically get directly behind them and then start flying away from them. Hopefully trying to stay out of their range.
So you continue this dance with the Barazad, keeping out of its sights as best you can. And you see another missile get launched from that torpedo launcher on its turret. And this missile does not need to travel too far to hit you as it comes careening towards your aft section, splashing against your aft shield and exploding for 9 damage.
Aft shields down to 50%.
Oh, let's hope they don't get any lower than that.
Uko continues spinning in that little turret, doing his best to just shoot the dang thing down at this point. Since we are behind it, Uko will try to aim towards these engines, but at this point, with Cooper's assistance, he just wants to hit the dang thing and end this battle.
Okay.
16 to hit for 7 damage.
You connect, breaking through the aft shields of the Barazad, and you see some of the thrusters on the rear of the Barazad now sort of flashing as the power to them seems to be glitching out or cutting in and out.
Good.
Yeah, Nevessa's just going to keep plugging away at the computer. So, just diverting power to the shields. That's a 27.
The DC was 14, so 27 will definitely work, as you now get the 6 shield points to spread about.
Restoring power to some of the shields.
The Barazad did not seem like it was trying to pull any fancy maneuvers with its slow speed, and now with its malfunctioning thrusters, you see that it's moving even slower. If a spaceship could plod, the Barazad is doing it.
Gong, 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 gong.
Misha's gonna flip the bird around and then just fly in the opposite direction that they're going. Keep getting those engines.
I'm on it.
You see, as you pass by it, the cannons on the port side of the Barazad track you for a little bit until you leave their range, and it does not get a shot on you, but you get to fire on it, Uko.
All right, here we go.
Maintaining his aim on the engines and having Cooper assist him still, Uko fires. Rolling a 9.
As you fly by, you misjudge the trajectory of the ships, and your shot just simply misses.
Damn it! And he's like hitting the turret and smacking the walls.
I'm beginning to wonder if Uko's nearsighted.
I mean, he does have an eye patch over one eye.
It's true.
He has no depth perception.
All right, the Barazad watches as you pass by, and you can almost see the entire ship let out a sigh. As you fly by, it makes another big wide turn to try to catch up with you.
Gonna keep evading. Keep our AC up. 24.
All right, those evasive maneuvers succeed.
I'm gonna keep away from them a little bit.
I think Nevessa sees that the starboard and port shields haven't taken much hits, so she's going to attempt to balance the shields, needing a computer check instead of engineering.
You swap over to the science officer terminal, and the DC for that is 19.
All right, Nevessa rolled a 27. balancing the shields out a little bit to give us a little bit more room to work with here.
And you see another missile fly at you from the turret. The missile comes rocketing towards the Sundering Eclipse. You are out of its range for this round, though.
So Uko spins in his little turret, aims at the engines, and with Cooper's help, 21 to hit for 8 damage, aimed at least as best as possible at them exposed flickering engines.
So you are currently on its port side, so the engines are a little bit out of view for you, but your shot finds its mark, and the port side, no shields flare once again, and it takes that full 8 damage. You see a big instrument of some sort gets dislodged from the hull of the Barazad and just floats aimlessly through space.
Ooh, what's that? Did I hit it?
You did hit it. Yeah, some chunk of it came off, but you can't really tell what it is from here.
Cooper, scan that piece!
Alright, be out of range.
Seeing another missile coming, Nevessa begins to divert energy towards the thrusters on the ship to try and give us more room to get away. Mishka, diverting power to the thrusters again.
All right.
For 27.
And the DC is 14, so that definitely works. And yeah, Mishka, you get that extra kick of speed again. After letting loose this missile, the Barazad continues its slow plod towards you.
Dum, da, dum, da, dum.
And you see that forward cannon on the front of it start powering up again.
Misha's gonna burn straight ahead and do some more evasive maneuvers. 22.
Those evasive maneuvers succeed. The missile stays on you as you try to take these evasive maneuvers. It barely is able to keep up with you and continues its pursuit of the Sundering Eclipse. It stays right on your tail.
God damn.
The Barazad itself, you see that forward cannon power down as you leave its range of fire.
Uko aims his turret, seeing that missile charging at them, but focuses his fire, with Cooper's help, on the Barazad.
Just barely at the edge of your gun's range, you let loose a shot.
16 to hit for 12 damage.
That shot stays true as it flies through space and collides with the Barazad, smashing into the port side of the ship, and you see a hole get torn through the ship. Woo. And the thrusters on the back of the ship putter and stop burning completely, and the ship hangs motionless, seemingly dead.
The ship ain't moving. The engines are down. The whole thing looks like it's down.
Excellent shot, my friend.
Yeah!
Nicely done, Uko. Let's focus on this missile now.
Yes, please.
Nevessa's just going to keep diverting power to our boosters here. For a 21.
You continue to feel that extra kick of power coming from the Sundering Eclipse's engines as this missile tracks you.
Gonna continue to take evasive maneuvers. Boost our AC, that's a 31. And then try to burn and get this thing the hell out of our range. Come on, come on, come on.
And the missile just stays right with you the entire time.
So Uko, since he doesn't want to destroy the ship that is now seemingly dead in the not water, space, he sees the tiny little missile chasing them, and he's like, all right, Cooper, let's do this. Focuses on that small target with Cooper's help, and fires at that missile. Ka-chow! Does a 10 hit?
Definitely does not hit. Just goes flying off into space.
Whoopsie. I'm trying back here. I'm doing my best.
I think just gonna keep boosting us, keep distance between us and the missile. All right, that's a 24.
All right, that succeeds. As you continue diverting the power to the engines, Mishka, go ahead and do your maneuvering.
Also 24.
For evasive maneuvers?
Yeah.
All right.
Just burning, trying to get this missile off our bits.
It does not give up as it just continues chasing you in a beeline.
Uko just continues to fire at that missile that's chasing them. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does not hit.
Dang it!
I think Nevessa is kind of seeing the writing on the wall here. I don't know if we're gonna be able to ditch this. Diverting power back to the aft shields. We'll just hope the shields eat it up. as a 15 to divert power to the back shields.
That succeeds.
And after hearing that, Mishka's like, all right, to hell with it, and he just stops and backs up the ship into the missile.
Oh, jeez!
Oh, shit! Alright. So that's going to be a back-off stunt if you want to do that, which is a DC 14.
Yeah, I rolled a 31.
So yes, you hit the brakes and just brace yourself for impact. And the missile does exactly what you expect it to. You guys all get thrown forward as it crashes into the back of the Sundering Eclipse, splashing against the rear shields for 13 damage.
Hey! All according to plan.
And the shields barely hold, absorbing all of the damage from this missile.
Hell yeah.
Just as the explosion subsides, you hear Cooper's voice come through the bridge.
Alert! High energy levels detected from the enemy ship. Recommend an immediate retreat.
High energies, what does that mean?
And as you ask that question, you see an explosion erupt from the port side of the Barazad, throwing the ship to the side. And in the next second, another explosion from the starboard side, pushing the ship again to the other side. And you see the Barazad now getting torn apart as it self-destructs, tearing itself apart from the inside. And you see the explosions propel the main hull of the ship down towards Nakondis, and it tumbles down towards the planet's surface in a smoldering hail of debris, and you lose sight of it as it crashes into a forest around the equator of the planet. If you want more Dice Versa, check us out at patreon.com/diceversa. We release bonus content for every episode, like deleted scenes and episode commentary. You can also join our growing community by joining the Dice Versa Discord server. Find the link in the video description.